Daniel, as we continue our back-to-school coverage, Elkins starts classes today, and they have a few fun activities planned for the big day.
Yeah, 5 News reporter Claire Everbach joining us live once again here at 6:33 this morning. Claire, what do they have planned today?
Well, Joe, I've been hearing that there might be a bubble machine that's going to welcome students for their first day of school this morning. The students should be arriving in about 30 minutes or so, just a little bit after 7. I spoke with the superintendent, and he says he's very excited to welcome them back to the Elkins Primary School. He also says that the projects that were going on this past year are complete, so traffic should be pretty smooth this morning. This week is mainly about welcoming students back, making sure they feel valued, and giving them a good way to ease back into the school year. He says they want to meet students where they're at and individualizing their learning with the ultimate goal of preparing them for a life after they graduate.
That's why we're here, is to maximize student learning and individualize learning for everyone. And we want to see our students and be put into a position where they can be successful graduates of Elkins High School and go on and do great things once they leave us.
Well, those fun activities should be starting pretty shortly. It's a beautiful morning. It looks like we're going to have a beautiful sunrise here out in Elkins. A great way to welcome students back to a brand new year. Live in Elkins, covering news where you live. Claire Everbach, 5 News.
Thanks for that, Claire. Well, 5 News viewers have been sending us those back-to-school photos. Take a look at Connor, Fisher, and Hunter. Oh my goodness, look at these little besties right here with their welcome bag. That is adorable.
Oh, they look great too.
Look at those first day outfits. You think they picked those out?
Absolutely. Yeah, and they do a great job. Gavin, Hazel, and Graham there.
Look at these siblings over there.
New York City shirt, loving that. You guys look fantastic.
And then sweet CJ, we shared his story earlier. He had a liver transplant and immune suppression, and he had his first day of school yesterday. So these are great. Keely and Casey, Riker, thanks for sending these in, guys. We hope you had a great first day. Continue to have a great first week.
All right, send us more of those photos, 479-785-5000, and stay with us here. We're going to show more on the 5 News Plus app coming up at 7 a.m. We'll see some new ones then.
And we are 1 year into Arkansas's bell-to-bell no-cell law.
Yeah, school leaders in Greenwood and Rogers say they're seeing students more engaged with each other, but new national research found little change in test scores, attendance, or classroom attention. Rogers superintendent says getting students off their phones can help, but it's not a cure-all.
As we begin to look at student health, as we begin to look at mental health, I think it's really important that we don't try to identify one single source of all of our problems and say, this is it.
Well, both Rogers and Greenwood school leaders say so far the benefits they've seen from the phone ban have outweighed those challenges.
Well, the Institute of Education Sciences also did a study on cell phone use in schools and found that 77% of all U.S. schools now have policies prohibiting cell phone usage. 12% of schools allow teachers to decide, and 5% have a policy allowing phones during class. Oh, we're learning more about a special meeting in Lowell.
Yeah, one councilman asked for it after he says that he and other council members were blocked from bringing items forward. A packed crowd filled City Hall last night. See, take a look here at this video. The city council changed its agenda rules. Before, it took 6 council votes to add an item that the mayor hadn't approved. Now, any council member can add an item with at least 72 hours notice. The mayor, Chris Moore, says that review is part of why the current process was in place.
Staff needs to take the time to have it go through legal, so we can definitely throw a wrench in quite a few things. And I never stopped council until Mr. Flores and the 2 items that he's placed.
Well, the mayor says that he believes that the process they had in place worked because it gave city staff time to review items before they came to council. His concerns, though, with this new rule is whether that 72-hour window gives them enough time to do that.
Another Arkansas city is joining the list of places taking a look at stopping the use of license plate readers or flock cameras. The Centerton City Council voted unanimously to end the city's agreement with flock at Tuesday's meeting. The automated cameras capture vehicle information and can help law enforcement investigate crimes. The mayor says most of the readers and cameras across Centerton were not operational due to issues with getting the system up and running.
I think Flock at some point, probably has some good potential. I just think, I think there's some more education that probably needs to be made, and just maybe tighter controls on the data.
He says most residents they heard from this week had privacy concerns.
An 18-year-old driver from Northeast Arkansas has filed a federal lawsuit against Arkansas State Police.
Dashcam video from August 1st shows the trooper punching her in the head when she turns to question him.
Now, Catherine Rowley has the story.
Alyssa Hackett was pulled over by State Trooper Moises Arlano August 1st after she was seen speeding with her emergency lights on. Days later, she filed a federal civil rights lawsuit accusing the trooper of violating her rights, battery, and abusive process.
What am I doing?
Arlano says that the stop escalated after he found a bottle of liquor at the car and claims Hackett threw a clipboard at him. But it's what happened next that is now at the center of the lawsuit.
Turn around! Turn around! You cannot punch me!
Hackett can be heard crying out for her mother as the trooper takes her to the ground. The lawsuit claims Hackett never struck or pushed the trooper, saying she pulled her arm away because she was afraid. And that's raising questions from state lawmakers about the use of force and what should happen when someone questions an officer during a traffic stop.
Frustration and concern, but I'm a father of 3 daughters. So that's what my immediate reaction was, what's going on when an officer strikes a female.
Representative Jesse Magruder says he's frustrated that current policies allowed what he saw in the video.
I think this needs to happen in every state. We need to be aware of what's going on, and we never want an incident where we see a individual being struck the way that the young lady was. And I never heard her curse or say anything inappropriate. She was just crying out for her mom.
The trooper has not been placed on administrative leave. Attorney Ben Crump is representing Hackett, and he says the trooper's decision to arrest her was based on her quote-unquote attitude. The Arkansas Legislative Black Caucus plans to discuss this case and broader public safety concerns later this month.